Reports are stating that Napoli are interested in Radu Dragusin of Genoa, as Spurs are still offering only €23 million and Genoa want 30. Napoli are apparently offering cash plus a player. Josh Keeley has just been sent out on loan. Sergio Reguilon has just returned from a loan spell at Manchester United. And Spence has just returned to Spurs from a loan spell at Leeds United. And Postecoglou speaks about the FA Cup, what it means to the fans, and he also speaks about the January transfer window.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Let's start by talking about Postecoglou and his press conference on Thursday. He had his press conference at Hotspur way ahead of the Burnley game in the FA Cup third round, which of course takes place on Friday. Postecoglou was asked by journalists about the transfer window and how many players he wants in during the month of January. His reply was, there are lots of moving parts in a window like this. Like I said, January, you don't expect too much in terms of activity. But again, I've said before, is that every opportunity we have to strengthen the team, strengthen the squad, we should try and take, depending on the sort of opportunities we have to do that this month, we will try to do so. And Postecoglou also provided the team news ahead of the Burnley game. He confirmed that striker Aleko Veliz will be out for a couple of months. He has ligament damage, but he will not require surgery. Postecoglou also spoke out about defender Mickey van der Ven and said Mickey has trained with us. He's been involved in 3 training sessions. I'm not sure about the Burnley game, whether he will be involved or not. Postecoglou on James Maddison and Christian Romero. He said Maddison is not training with us yet. I won't know until he's back training with us how he is getting on. And Christian Romero is still at the early stages. Postecoglou also spoke out about Maddison and Romero and said Maddison is not training with us yet. I won't know much about him until he's back training with us and seeing how he's getting on. Christian Romero is still at the early stages of his rehab. And Postecoglou has spoken out about the importance of a cup run and the FA Cup. He said at the start of every season, every club has ambitions and dreams of winning silverware. More than anything else, it gives us an opportunity to try and win a competition. And for a club of our stature, that should be the ambition every year. Every competition I am in, I want to win. I don't rank them or diminish against any others. The club has history in this competition. Many of the greatest memories Spurs supporters will have been in the FA Cup. On Thursday evening, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club confirmed that Spence has returned to the club following a loan spell at Leeds United. The defender made 7 appearances for the Championship side this season, having joined them on loan in August. And the Athletic and the Evening Standard have just reported it was Leeds United's decision to terminate Spence's loan rather than Tottenham recalling him. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club also confirmed on Thursday that goalkeeper Josh Keeley has joined National League side Barnet on loan for the remainder of the 2023-2024 season. Now, in the last couple of days, there have been so many media reports and rumours published about the Radu Dragusin deal, Genoa to Tottenham Hotspur. Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has stated on a number of occasions in the last couple of days that talks continue between the two sides. Well, Italian journalist Gianluca Damasio has just reported on this story, and he has stated that Napoli are now working to secure the signature of Spurs target Radu Dragusin. And Sky Sports Italia and Sky Sports in the UK are both stating that Napoli cannot be ruled out of the race to sign Radu Dragusin, as they are prepared to discuss a part exchange. Napoli are interested in the player. They are prepared to offer cash plus a player. That would suit Genoa because they are currently looking for a striker and are currently short of money. But reports from Sky Italia and Sky UK are both stating that talks are continuing between Tottenham and Genoa, but at the moment the valuations are wide apart. €30 million Tottenham Hotspur are offering €23 million. Now, Radu Dragusin's agent has said a little bit more about his player today. He said it's difficult to talk during negotiations. Tomorrow I will speak to Genoa and see if the club has spoken to anyone, but I haven't spoken to anyone about the contract and the transfer. I know there is interest in the player, but officially no one has told me about an offer for Radu. It was also announced on Thursday that Sergio Reguilón has returned to the club following a loan spell at Manchester United. The left-back, 27, made 12 appearances for the Red Devils, having joined them on loan at the start of this season. And many congratulations to Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-min Son. He has just been nominated for the December Player of the Month award. During December, he scored 4 goals in the Premier League and provided 4 assists, more than any other player during the month of December. Now, my thoughts on all of these stories and rumours in this episode. Let's start by talking about the FA Cup clash at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Friday evening. Third round of the FA Cup. It is nearly 33 years since we last won the FA Cup. And I say this every single year. All I want to see is us show real intent to try and win this competition. In every single round that we are in this competition, I would like to see the best possible starting 11. I know we've got players injured. I know that we have got players out on international duty. Of course, Son, Sarr, Basuma all away on international duty. But when I think of the players that could play in this game, we still have or could put out a really decent starting 11. And that is exactly the starting 11 I want to see. The likes of Vicario in goal. I've nothing against Forster, but I just want to see our best goalkeeper on the pitch. I would like to see Richarlison up front. I would like to see Johnson and Kulusevski either side. I put the team out at during the Spurs Chat podcast that we did on Wednesday, and the team that I put out, it was the best possible starting 11 with the players that we have got available, and that is what I think that we should do. Now, it's going to be an interesting one because, of course, Postecoglou made 10 changes in the League Cup. Whether he makes some changes, let's wait and see. But he knows, he spoke in his press conference on Thursday at Hotspur Way. He has spoken out before and said when he was growing up in Australia and, he used to watch the FA Cup. Whenever it was FA Cup final day, he used to watch it. And, the world would stop because of the FA Cup. That's what it meant to people. It has kind of been diluted over the years because of European football, top 4, etc. But the FA Cup means a lot to Spurs fans because, of course, in 1991, we won it for a record 8th time. And we haven't won it now for nearly 33 years. That is an incredible stat. It is a stat I absolutely hate saying every single year. The amount gets bigger and bigger. And I just want to see Spurs show real intent to win this competition. That's why I would love to see us put out the strongest possible 11. So it's going to be interesting whether Ange does really take this seriously, because we have seen in recent seasons, likes of Pochettino putting Eriksen on the bench at Colchester. We've seen the likes of Conte putting Davinson Sanchez in at Sheffield United. We've seen the likes of Pochettino putting Vorm in goal in key games, and Sonny at left wing back, which was a strange decision on the day at Wembley against Chelsea. So we've seen some strange decisions over the years. I personally would love us to put the strongest possible 11 out in every single round that we are in this year in this competition, and let's hope that we can go all the way and lift the trophy. Now, I fully expect Spurs to put a decent team out, and I fully expect Ange to go with the best possible 11. But also, with that said, get the job done. Not only, I feel like it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because you put the strongest team out, you get the job done early, rather than putting the stronger players on the bench, and then if if the team isn't performing well or not winning the game, or you're chasing the game, you then put those best players on. I would like to do it the other way round, of us starting strong, get the job done, and then play players like, Mickey van der Ven. Give him the last 10 minutes or so, give him a little run out. give Jamie Donnelly some minutes, last half hour of the game. If we're cruising 2-3-0 up at the time, 60-minute mark, give him half an hour. Give the likes of Dorrington and Phillips their debuts finally in a Spurs shirt. Certainly being a home game, they'll get a great reception as well. So I think that it would work well in so many ways, getting the job done, starting strong, and then finishing with some academy products and, players who deserve minutes and deserve chances and deserve a really decent reception in front of the home fans. So that is what I would love to see happen. I'd love to see us go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup, and the fourth round draw is on Monday evening, so hopefully we are in it, and hopefully we get another home draw, and we get another decent draw, and we progress heavily in this competition and perhaps lift the trophy in May. Wouldn't that be nice? Now, it's been a very busy day again today, as it was yesterday. Spence returning, Reguilón returning, and Josh Keeley being sent out on loan to Barnet. Wishing him all of the very best, and hopefully he can get some minutes and gain some good experience with Barnet. But Reguilón, I would expect him to go out the door during this January transfer window again. But I think that the club need to try very, very hard trying to get a permanent deal done rather than another loan, because all these loans, all these players keep going out, and they keep coming back. Tongion Dombele is going to be another one at some point. But Reguilón returning, I would fully expect him to go out the door. But I'm sure that the club want to move him on. There is interest from the likes of Bournemouth, Borussia Dortmund and Lazio for Reguilón, but it'd be interesting to see whether it is another loan or whether we can actually sell him or loan him, but have an obligation, one of those clubs have an obligation to actually buy him at the end of the season. Spence returning, that is an interesting one, because Spurs, I've read so many reports from very reliable journalists stating that it was actually Leeds United who sent him back, and not Spurs recalling him. Same with Reguilón, actually. But Jed Spence, is he going to get any game time under Ange Postecoglou? I don't believe he is. Certainly from now until the end of the season, even with the injuries that we've got, you're going to get all of the injured players coming back. And then Spence, he's going to have to try and fight for game time with the likes of Pedro Porro and the likes of Emerson Royal. I think he's a mile behind both of them. So perhaps another loan move for him during this month, and then it's going to be very interesting to see what the club do at the end of the season with the likes of Jed Spence. Now, the Radu Dragusin deal is an interesting one. Will Spurs actually end up paying near the 30 million euros that Genoa want? The agent has come out with some very interesting statements in the last couple of days. He has stated that, they haven't received any bid. I think I know what he means by that, because Fabrizio Romano has said on a number of occasions in the past few days that the clubs are talking. A verbal offer has gone in of around 23 million euros. So the agent is saying, well, we haven't received an official bid. Well, because there hasn't been one. It's been a verbal one. He knows that. I'm sure he's fully aware. But I think that the agent is trying to obviously, tell the world that this player is available. And, if you want to sign him, then now is the time, because he's certainly got the football, the world of football, the spotlight on his player at the moment. And he's a quality player. Spurs want him, obviously. Spurs are continuing to talk, trying to get this deal done. So let's see how it pans out. I am confident that Spurs will get deals done in this January transfer window, because Ange desperately needs help. We desperately need help with depth of this squad. We've seen it month after month during this season. Ange has had issues week by week, month after month. And I think it's very easy to say, and I think that a lot of us Spurs fans would agree, that we would probably be sitting top of the Premier League had we not have had all of these injuries. And, some of the players have stepped up and done remarkably well. When you think that we've played 4 fullbacks in so many games this season, including away at the champions Manchester City, that is full credit to Ange, that is full credit to the players that have stepped up. But give the man some help, and you never know what we can achieve at the end of this season, and perhaps next season, because hopefully we'll be playing in Europe next season, so we will need that depth for next season as well. But I do like the fact that we are going out now and identifying the players that we actually want to sign, rather than just getting players in for the sake of it, or having decisions made outside of who should be making them, because Ange Postecoglou should be heavily involved in these decisions. And, from what I'm hearing, he is heavily involved in the decision making and, identifying the players that he wants to bring in. Jed Spence is a perfect example. Jed Spence came in as a club signing because, certain people at the club wanted to sign him and not the head coach. Antonio Conte wasn't even, I suppose consulted is the wrong word, because he was asked, can we sign Jed Spence, will you mind? And Antonio Conte said, yeah, because he's a player for the future. Whereas I think things are a little bit different now, where we are identifying players. Ange Postecoglou has that final say. If Ange says no, then we don't sign them. And it's all about having the head coach, having that final say. And that is exactly how it should be, in my opinion, because I think that so many clubs are run the way now where other people are making the decisions rather than the head coach, and then the head coach is just left with these players that actually they don't really want, and they're not going to get into their starting 11 or even have any interest in them getting in their squad and moving the club forward. So Ange is doing a great job, in my opinion, and I've said this so often on this channel in the last 6 months. But the transfer window, I am confident that we will get in a couple of signings in January. It would be nice if it was early January. Ange just said that himself. Every single Spurs fan is shouting that out right now, saying that we need players in early. So the sooner the better. If it is just a case of Spurs, negotiating and paying a little bit more money for Radu Dragusin, then get it done. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.